National companies getting sued again. Our inventory is at the lowest level in decades nationally. And we're going to talk marketing again on today's Unnamed Real Estate Podcast. Hi there. My name is Charles Ray Dawson, Associate Broker and Residential Sales Manager of ProStar Realty, and this is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, and I do believe we're episode 125. Yeah, that looks about right. I'll correct it in the show notes in case it isn't, but hey, we're running a little bit fast over here. It is Thursday, and on Thursdays I record, and it is June the 22nd, and my office is full of people right now. I got one of my agents in here meeting with a couple clients, and so she's up in the front room, shuttling back here, getting documents and shuttling back out. Steve is in his office with the door closed, and Molly the Wonder Dog, or Pepper the Wonder Dog, Molly the agent, Pepper the Wonder Dog, is residing up front, being a very good girl, and she's not barking at any of the strange people because she knows real estate work is getting done, and that's how she gets the good kibble. So, got a few things to report this week, and then we're going to... I want to expand on the topic I brought up last week, why your house didn't sell, and I decided, going through each one of those things one at a time, give flesh in the mouth a little more detail, I think will really help people out a lot. Like I said, last week, we had a sales meeting with our agents, and we were training our agents on how to approach expired or canceled listings. These are listings that for whatever reason did not sell, or the seller decided to take their house off the market. And we did the presentation. I recorded and posted it on Thursday, and Friday I get a call from Steve because the news has just hit that our good friends over there at Keller Williams once again, is making national news, and not in a good way. All right, Keller Williams is apparently receiving another lawsuit for allegedly ignoring the do not call list and encouraging their agents to not check and verify phone numbers with the do not call registry, and instead reaching out and calling everybody that they think is out there. Now, strangely enough, they just settled a lawsuit prior to this by a couple months, and paid out $40 million and said, we will never do this again. 2 months later, hold on, let me pause on this because somebody just walked. You want to come over and say hi to the audience? I just turned the camera back on.
Hi, audience.
Hi, this is Molly Anderson. So,
Hi.
So, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, Keller Williams goes and gets themselves sued again for doing what they said they had just said they were not going to do. And that basically means that the blood is in the water, and all the attorneys have found themselves a new source of Mercedes-Benz payments, and they're going out there and looking for people who are on the do not call list, have received a call from a Keller Williams agent, right, and that phone number had not been checked. And since Keller Williams allegedly has a business model of ignoring the do not call list, then they are going to wind up spending even more time in court. So this is why Steve calls me and goes, hey, what are we going to do about this? And I said, well, we did indeed tell all of our agents, make sure you verify all these numbers on the do not call list. Let's put it in formal in writing. And so I sent the email out to everybody going, hey guys, remember, you're supposed to check to make sure. All right. Do not think, as an agent, that because they have been in a commercial relationship with another agent, that means that their do not call list protection is no longer valid if you're a real estate agent. I've also seen agents sit there and come up with like these little head games of why they're not actually soliciting when they knock on that no solicitation. They're providing information, and that's not actually soliciting. All right, and I tell agents all this time, all right, if you have to act like Mary Lou Retton doing a triple backflip to come up with your logical rationalizations why when you're doing it, it's different. It's not different. You're just rationalizing what you want to do. And I have no reason, I do not understand why every time that little light goes on and I start recording, my nose starts itching really bad. Like really bad. So if I hit more pauses, it's because I'm sitting there going immediately because I just can't stand it anymore. So we will see how this game is going to get played out with Keller Williams, right? And we encourage all of our agents to go knock on the damn door, okay? This is a people-oriented business. You should have a people-oriented business model, which means eyeball to eyeball, listening, talking to people, mostly listening, 2 ears, 1 mouth, listen twice as often as you talk. I keep saying that, all right? Don't really do it, but I keep saying that, and I'm mostly saying it to myself. But, that's going to be an interesting court case that's come out, all right? That's our national news. We also had another report come out that says, look, May saw the lowest housing inventory in a decade. That's national. That is indeed national. We do have more housing inventory than we did a year ago, roughly this time, or when we're in the 4,000s, right? As you'll see when we hit the numbers, we're in the 11s right now. But that's shaking up a lot of stuff. And that's, once again, you cannot compare national numbers to local markets. Now, that being said, I guarantee you, if you go to one of those other YouTube channels out there where they're talking about the real estate market is collapsing, get ready to buy in, or don't buy now. You got to wait for the market to drop. Right? Don't be one of those people. I swear to God, I think every one of those sites are actually being sponsored by BlackRock or Blackwater, whoever those guys are. The big shadowy, rent corporations out there, that are trying to encourage you, don't buy your own home, just rent one from us for the rest of your life. Because over here at Black Door, our tenants aren't just our tenants. They're our serfs, toiling away in their little cubicle farms, making us richer and richer. But we protect them. We make sure that if they have a housing problem, if their hot water heater breaks, we will come and fix it in 4 to 6 weeks at our own convenience, and they won't have to think about that. And cold showers are good for you. Dark marketing. Hashtag dark marketing. So, anyways, national rates down. Oh my God. But good thing inventory's down, because so are our buyers, because those interest rates are still bouncing around all over the place. I really hate it when the lenders start calling me and they start getting that little panicky tone in their voice, like, so tell me more about truck driving. You really think that could be a successful career? It's like, yeah. I'm figuring that you spend more of your time talking to me, whining about how the market is, instead of going out there and generating some work. Truck driving might be perfect for you. But we really, with that, listening to Tina today, I only got a brief period of time. She mentioned something that when is a good time to buy? Good time to buy is when it's right for you. All right. If you're in a position where you can buy now and you're not planning on moving in the next 5 years, stepping on the escalator is what gets you up. Sitting there and waiting for the elevator to suddenly appear when you can't tell who pushed the button and what direction it's going to go, maybe not, right? But real estate is an escalator. Right? You got to step on it. So, other one that just came up, I was talking about chatbots, and I've been playing around with that a lot. In fact, I needed to write a press release earlier this week, and I literally just typed, hey, chatbots, write me a press release, and it wrote me one better than I could have. It had like grammar and syntax and punctuation in there and all those other things that I'm not really good at. And so I just go in there and I make some modifications, and it's like, okay, wave of the future? Possibly for certain careers, especially copywriters. But this one is getting really interesting. All right. Will chatbots make housing discrimination worse? Because when you tell a chatbot that has not received the hours and hours and hours of fair housing training that your real estate agents get, and you ask a chatbot a question, it might give you an answer that I, as a real estate agent, can't give you. This could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. All right. Remember, regulations are out there. I can't tell. Is this neighborhood good for families? Sorry, I can't tell you that. I might be seen as discriminating against people who don't have families. That's literally the ruling. That is literally what they teach us in classes nowadays. All right. I could point you to directions to make your own decision. My personal favorite is, this neighborhood safe? I got a completely different concept of safe than you might have. Right? There are things out there that make me paranoid and twitchy that you would go, why are you freaking out about that? All right? It's because I'm like, yeah, because there's 3 crowns on that on that tag over there, and I know that means something. All right? Or there isn't 3 crowns on that one. Actually, I'm pretty good with the crown crew. All right, I like them. But still, it's one of these reoccurring things. With these chatbots, you can ask the chatbot a question of, are there any of those people living in this neighborhood? And it will tell you that. No, there ain't any of those people over there. There's people who look just like you and go to your church and all those other things that fair housing laws say we as real estate agents can't use to market not even just a property, but even neighborhoods. Even neighborhoods. Now, what's happening is, in the big rush to ChatGPT and AI, it's going to take a little while for the laws to catch up with the new technology, right? Don't believe me? Google Section 230. All right. And as this thing keeps getting caught up, I could pop open on my email right now, search ChatGPT, and come up with like 17 different classes, in the next month and a half by escrow companies and schools and lenders, all going, come in and learn how to use ChatGPT in your business. And Inman and other news sources, right, are all talking about how to implement ChatGPT. Well, here's your number one big problem. If you put a chatbot on your real estate page that will answer all questions, and you go into that real estate page and you are getting a secret shopper, all right, from HUD or some other organization who's checking to make sure you're on the up and up, and they type in, are there any of those people in this neighborhood, because I don't want to live next to any of those people, all right, and your website comes in and says, dog, no problem, dog, there ain't none of those people over there. A lot of these people, none of those people. And I understand. I don't like those people either. All right. Guess who's catching a lawsuit? Yeah. So will chatbots make discrimination worse? Interesting question. Do you actually have to have a human actor for discrimination to happen? Okay, this is not a philosophy channel, and that is way outside my scope, and I hate when my brain goes in those directions. So let's get back on other things, all right? First things first, for you to get the context of why your house should have sold, let's look at the numbers, all right? Because here in the numbers, as you can see, on June 21st, 2023, actives this week is 11,460. We're down 35, still trending down since October. All right. New listings are also trending down. We're at 1,715, down 19. Contracts are down. We're at 2,231 written last week. That's down 124. Closings at 1,716, coming soon to an MLS near you, or an additional 543 new listings. All right. And our crop rate report numbers. All right. Supply is at 51.9. Demand is at 83.3, giving us a Cromford index number of 163.8. Still going up, because even though demand is going down, supply is still going down faster than that. All right. If supply was to kick loose for some reason, you would see a change. If demand was to kick loose for some reason, you would see a change. All right. I think we've hit the worst of the interest rates. All right. It would take a serious shock for those things to pop back up. We are starting to talk 8s again. I don't think we're got that anytime soon. But, when it comes to the Fed and what they do and what Wall Street does, anybody who tells you exactly what's going to go on is pretty much lying to you. So, but in this market, if you had a qualified, ready-to-go buyer, why can't you get under contract? Okay, and if you have a qualified, ready-to-go house, all right, with this much inventory and this number right here, right, where we're looking at, oh my God, 163.8. I don't have this the city numbers, because the guy who does the city numbers is on vacation, and so he's not putting them out for the next couple of weeks. All right, but why didn't your house sell? Why did it not sell? Okay, had a big list, but first thing we're going to cover is it's not properly marketed. All right, I want to go through these things a little bit more detail. Right, you might remember this from last week, right? Not properly marketed. Listing and waiting and letting Zillow do the work for the sales agent. This is huge. Okay. You have to put the house in front of people. A lot of the times if the list and wait house does not sell, there might be a very unique feature in there that you have to market around. Right? Let's say one bathroom. Prior to 1972, most homes only had one bathroom. Right? Since then, most houses have been built with two afterwards. Right? So, right, getting around a property marketing on that will help. The listing and waiting, not so much. All right. Bad photos. All right. You know, I bet you if you are a longtime watcher and viewer of this, you guys have gone over to the dark web that are called Zillow and experienced in the wee hours of the morning, what we call house porn. And you sit there with your dirty little fingers and you scroll through those photos, right, of lovely kitchens and sunken tubs and luscious green yards. You dirty, dirty people, all right, because you're on Zillow. And not a clean site like ProStar. All right. And you're experiencing that. And you'll notice it's the photos. All right. Just next time you're looking at it, see how much time you spend on one of those houses if that first photo looks like it was taken with with an iPhone. All right. That is really, really, and especially with photos being so damn cheap to get done right now. All right. You can get them done for like $90. All right. That's a listing agent cost. All right. Some agents will actually literally bill the seller that. Blows my freaking mind. All right. These people are also in probably less competitive markets than Arizona is right now. But bad photos. There are a couple property staging, virtual staging up there where you can put in fake beds and whatnot to help people to find space. Got a few concerns on that, all right, just from a technical standpoint, is that, you put a bed in there, okay, and you're putting a picture on top of a picture. How do you make sure the dimensions of the picture are correct? But yeah, virtual staging with professional services really, really will help a listing. Other one I have in here, open houses not advertised. All right, and instead it's almost like the list and wait, except you're actually showing up and reading a book or whatever it is you do, playing on your phone, waiting for somebody to come in. Open houses need to be not just advertised by street signs. All right, you need to advertise in the neighborhood. Last year, all right, and things were going crazy. Steve, my broker, he advertised an ice cream social and had free ice cream if people came in. Sold the listing off of that. Not to anybody who came in and ate the free ice cream, but somebody who knew somebody who was moving into town from New York City. Sold. Done. All right. That's a way to advertise an open house. Open houses should be advertised to the entire neighborhood. All right. I like to make up a flyer that says choose your neighbor. Right. It addresses one of the primary fears of the neighbors when they see the house go up for sale across the way is who's going to be living in there. I'm comfortable with my neighbors now. All right. How do I know that's not going to turn into another frat house? All right. How do I know that that's not going to get bought by an investor and then rented out to somebody who's going to turn it into a meth lab? How do we know that that's not somebody who's going to buy it and turn it into a meth lab or whatever? All right. These are concerns. So you can sit there, put that property out in front of a neighbor and say, hey, you have somebody you want to live next to you or near you. All right. Has your mother-in-law always talked about moving into the neighborhood? Maybe not her. Okay. But still, these are the things you want to look for on the marketing side. Other thing you do on marketing is, you go and you blow it out on Zillow, and it's pretty much going to hit like every feed out there, any kind of search thing. But you can also double up with, neighborhood specific within a certain restrictions, marketing to the neighborhood, to people who are looking in the neighborhood. You should have your CRM system set up in such a way like we do here at ProStar, is that if you have anybody set into your system who's looking in a particular area and another agent lists a property in that, they're going to get a flag, like immediately. Hey, just want to let you know this new ProStar listing is in the neighborhood and has the criteria you're looking for. That benefits the broker because then you can get 2 closings on each side in the house instead of just one close, or both sides of a closing in the house, not just one in your house. A lot of really real good benefits to that. Other things you can do, especially if you're partnered with a as an agent, if you're partnered with a really good lender, is you can hold these open houses with a lender. And it would be helpful if you have a lender who has the technology and the ability to qualify a buyer on site. And if when that buyer comes in on site, not only can be they qualified, but if that lender you have has like a couple first-time home buyer programs that they work with, you could literally have somebody come in there who thinks they're incapable of buying a house, and you could show them, all right, within an hour or two, hey, yes, actually you could, and you could buy this one. All right. Partnered with a couple lenders before, and sometimes they show up with like pop-up tents and flags and this and that and the other thing, and they usually bring drinks or something. You sort of make a party out of it, right? These open houses are not just signs. You can really turn them into something special. Other things when you're advertising an open house like this is you can also, if you have that partnership with a really good lender who can do first-time home buyer, you can start marketing in areas that you might not think you'd market before, like Craigslist. Craigslist is a desolate wasteland of real estate. It really is. It's been taken over with so many scammers. It's not even really worth putting a listing on there, but you could advertise an open house with a lender who can qualify on site. And you'll get traffic that way, right? You will get traffic for that property, especially if you put it at the price points, okay? And you got, hey, one call gets it all. You're ready to rock over there. And from a secondary benefit to the agent, not only are you selling that listing, but you might be getting downstream buyers, right? So, other things I would consider along the marketing thing is, when we're talking marketing, we're basically just talking exposure, right? The other thing you want to know you do as an agent is you need to be able to advertise out to every agent you've ever worked with. You should have a roster. Every time you get a listing, it should blow out to every agent that you've ever worked with going, hey, I got a new listing here. Here are the particulars, right? If you want to do it in this kind of market, it might be really good to send that email out 2 or 3 days before it even goes active. If you're going active on Thursday and you're putting it on the MLS on Thursday, you could actually go and say, hey, blowing it out to all the agents. It's listed as coming soon. It's not ready to go, but we're having a special because I know you brokerage day coming in on Wednesday. Give me a call. All right. And that also comes into broker tours. Broker tours tend to be sponsored by a third party, usually an escrow company or something like that. They'll rent a bus or they'll just do a car caravan, and you will go on a big tour, and all the agents in the area will come through on this tour, show their houses, look at your house, give you feedback, that kind of stuff. And it actually really helps. Sometimes you will miss something on that house. First couple times I did these things, older, more mature, experienced agents would pull out something and say, oh yeah, you should have done this. Oh yeah, you could have done this. And I'd be like, hey, that's really good to know. And it's gratifying when I sit there and it's like, I tell the client something. You gotta paint this frickin' wall. All right. The kids liked it. Nobody else in the world likes it except your child. All right. Paint this wall. Paint it. If I can sit there and show them 30 pieces of paper from other real estate agents who are on the tour and they all say, paint the damn wall, sometimes that will get the seller to realize that maybe they needed to have the wall painted. Sometimes. All right. So, I think I've covered enough of this. I'm sure Molly would like to come back in and access the rest of her stuff over there on the other side of the wall. And we are at the 24-minute mark, which seems to be about average for these things. So, what else do we got going? Next week, we're going to cover the next part of why it didn't sell. All right. And we're going to be talking pricing strategies, making sure the property is priced for the market, how you continually track the market during that. In the meantime, guys, you know the routine, okay? Work your circles, All right. Do not sweat about the things you have no impact over. Try not to. I spent way too much time this week worrying about five guys in a freaking tin can out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And spoiler alert, you guys are seeing this thing right now. They found the debris field, and that's not a good sign. All right. So work what you can, work your circles. All right. Watch the kids and pets. We're in the drowning season now, around the water. All right. Don't drive into the flooded areas. I don't think that's going to be a problem here in a while. But all right, watch the kids, watch the pets. All right, work your circles. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.